Ladies and gentlemen, you welcome to this edition of the Prime Time Newscast on Equinoxe Television, live from our headquarters in Cameroon's economic capital, Douala. I am Babla Jonathan. In our top stories in this edition of the news, the coronavirus pandemic is gradually engulfing Anglophone Cameroon. The two Anglophone regions hit by socio-political and security crisis for close to 4 years today is now counting close to 200 confirmed cases of the coronavirus. We shall be bringing to you updates on the situation of the two Anglophone regions and the entire nation in this newscast. And also today we will talk about a former or a late statesman or senior citizen and one of the frontliners in the fight to solve the Anglophone problem, Molanjo Litume. He's no more. He died yesterday. In this newscast, we will tell you who he was, what he stood for, and we're going to pay tribute to Molanjo Litume. That's the end of this edition of the 6 p.m. news. Stay with us. Health officials in the English-speaking regions of Cameroon say their inhabitants should make use of the hospitals they see each time they see any suspected coronavirus case, and the call is coming at a time when the coronavirus pandemic is gradually engulfing the two Anglophone regions of the Republic of Cameroon. The Northwest and the Southwest regions are now counting over 174 confirmed cases of the coronavirus. Updates in this report compiled by Smart Jig and Gabriel.
174 is the total number of corona positive cases in the Northwest and Southwest region respectively. In a media release by the Northwest Regional Delegate of Public Health, 77 cases were identified in the Northwest region, with 16 persons who were confirmed dead. The release says apart from one patient who died at the COVID center in Bamenda, 15 others were rushed to the hospital half dead because they stay at home. 20 others have been discharged, while 40 patients are still in the hospital. In the Southwest region, according to statistics given by the Regional Delegate of Public Health, Tuesday, 97 cases have been recorded, 22 persons who have recovered, and 5 confirmed dead. Limbe counts a total of 44 cases out of the 97. Boya and Kumba all have 23 cases each, and Manfe counts 7. The authorities in these regions are calling on their population to quickly report cases of suspected corona patients on time as they continue to respect the measures put up by the government.
And the nation at large, the Republic of Cameroon, is now counting close to 6,000 confirmed cases of the coronavirus, and the figures have continued skyrocketing since the government decided to lift some of the restrictions earlier imposed to stop the spread of coronavirus in the country. And some medical experts, civil society and political leaders are blaming the government and saying that it wasn't a good decision to lift restrictions on beer parlors, other entertainment sites and transport, and they think that this has significantly contributed to increase the spread of coronavirus in the country. In the meantime, preparations are going on ahead of school resumption in the primary, secondary and higher levels of education in Cameroon, May or June 1, 2020, and the Minister of Secondary Education, Professor Nalova Leonga, says that all is almost set for pupils, or rather for students, to return to school on the 1st of June 2020. 2020 as instructed by the President of the Republic, and in the following extract she will be elaborating on the measures that should be respected in all secondary schools across the Republic of Cameroon to keep the learners and their teachers and of course the school officials safe.
Should come from home armed with their masks as well as their snacks, because no canteen will be open in any school. They will be able to eat in their classrooms or in front of their classrooms. Remember, a little exercise will not do them any harm, so they can do that, or they can eat in the gardens. Secondly, they have to ensure that the children are washing hands. If you go to the different institutions, you're going to find out what they have done to enable the children wash their hands. After that, they will be able to have orientation in the various classes. And so every teacher is supposed to orient the students. The students are supposed to know who is the head of their class before they come in, so that when they come in, they're going to go straight into their classrooms and take the lessons that they have to take. The state of preparation is very good. First of all, the collaboration between the teachers and the local authorities is very good. You can see that the dissemination of the schools is being done this week also. It has started before, but it's being done this week. And as I said, there's collaboration between various ministries. There are a lot of people who are helping us in the schools. That's not just MINESEC and the government, but there is UNICEF, there is UNESCO, there is CAMNAFO. We are very ready. Just follow us, follow the schools. And here now, I should tell you that it is not in your interest to be looking for faults.
And the Ministry of Secondary Education is also organizing training sessions to step up or enhance the knowledge and understanding of teachers and school officials as far as coronavirus is concerned. And this is coming as a measure that will step up their ability to control the children and ensure that the teaching and learning process unfolds hitch-free of coronavirus. Take a listen to Professor Pauline Nalo-Valionga.
So the idea is to give more skills to the personnel of MINESEC. We are holding frequent seminars of this type to be sure that all the teachers and the RDs, that is the regional delegates, understand what this virus is about. Now today we've gone from the most minute things, such as whether you say low COVID or you say la COVID, it's important because the children should know what to say. From there, right to the important things about the symptoms and how you treat yourselves. So this is the principle of MINESEC, to continue to get the best practices from the various schools and from the experts.
An African traditional medicine is gradually gaining grounds in the fight against coronavirus. Yesterday, the Prime Minister and Head of Government of Cameroon, Chief Dr. Joseph Diangote, received in audience the Archbishop of the Douala Metropolitan Archdiocese of the Roman Catholic Church, His Grace Samuel Klida, who has established a coronavirus treatment based on herbs, and he says that his treatment has already restored the health of over 1,500 persons who came with coronavirus symptoms. And some traditional practitioners across the country, in Bamenda, in Douala, and elsewhere, are also presenting different herbal treatments for coronavirus. Some of them will belong to the National Association of Traditional Practitioners. We're speaking to the press today in Douala. Immaculate Fogwe in details.
The race to get a COVID-19 cure is on. and traditional medicinal plants are gradually gaining ground in the fight against COVID-19. Tradi practitioners in Cameroon, following several weeks of intensive research, have come up with some concoctions made out of these plants, which they say can neutralize the coronavirus without any side effects.
I told you that we have got 4 types of plants. When you use them, dive them into water, put in the sun, after in the night, just have a bath. You know, the person is not what we think. You are surrounding something. When you energize your fact, when you stand there, you can even touch me as I'm doing. The protection prevails from the fact that you are not going to get in touch with this disease. And now we come to herbs and plants. That's how we join via grass and so far. That's why when you use them, enable you just to energizing your body.
I now use some of the ingredients that we were treating the previous symptoms before the coming of the COVID-19. We improve on it, and then we'll add other organic plants that could be rich in zinc and vitamin C, which it is one of the vital elements to prevent COVID-19. Nobody can argue this very fact, that consumption of zinc, and then I came up now with the COVID-19 tea.
Many of these tradi practitioners regret the fact that they are not getting the support they need from the government.
This COVID-19 thing, when I brought it out, I thought it wise that it is good that I should do it in line with the rules and regulation, legal rules and regulation in force concerning public health. So, and in the presence of the governor, I hand it over to the regional delegation of public health, and they gave me all the promises that they are going to work it technically. And
during a press conference in the nation's economic capital, Douala, these tradi practitioners affirmed that several persons who were administered the drug have been cured.
When we joined all our efforts, we are more than 200 persons, 200 persons that have been already rescued, yes, just that have got their health in good conditions.
The head of state's last address to the nation praised all those who are putting in effort in getting a cure for the coronavirus. Prime Minister Chief Joseph John Gute recently held talks with his Grace Samuel Cleader. The encounter underscores government's open policy vis-a-vis traditional medicine. According to his Grace Samuel Cleader, 1,500 people have been cured after being administered his herbal treatment.
The Member of Parliament for Bamuso in the Bakassi Peninsula, southwest region of the Republic of Cameroon, says for peace to return in Anglophone Cameroon, those in the bushes must be at the center of government's reconstruction plan in the war-torn northwest and southwest regions of the country. Honorable Ngale Daniel Etongo was speaking recently in Bamuso, and Derek Jato was there. He compiled this report.
The security tension here in Bamuso subdivision, triggered by the Anglophone crisis, has left untold pain. As destruction, especially on the CDC plantation, the people here say, stop all the operations of the said plantation, and the present situational picture remains shaky.
The security situation in Bamuso is not the best, but at least it is promising in that the killings that we used to have are no longer there. Those people who are in the bushes, we want them to come and be part of the reconstruction process of Southwest and Northwest.
Honorable Ngale Daniel Etongo, CBDM Member of Parliament for Bamuso constituency, remembers the pain those who came out last February 9, 2020, during the elections to give him another mandate went through.
My people had threats from the separatists, and they were promised hell. But that notwithstanding, they came out in their numbers and voted.
Today, the Member of Parliament for Bamuso subdivision comes home to thank the people that elected him and thank God through an ecumenical service for keeping them alive.
But if we want to be victorious as people of God, as administrators, as workers, as Cameroonians, there must be perfect understanding.
And among other things, the pronouncement from Honorable Ngale Daniel Etongo on education was highly laudable.
In addition to other things that we will do, at least each year, we are going to make sure that we give at least 40 scholarships.
Unfortunately, the program of the MP's homecoming is being censored by COVID-19. First, only few people are to attend, and secondly, the traditional dancing and jubilation prohibited.
And so this permitted me to come with the food items that you saw. And I want actually to thank my people because they have been very instrumental to my success.
Be calm, remain steadfast, and follow all the barrier measures from the government. And together, we will beat this pandemic. Honorable Ngale Daniel Etongo encouraged his population.
The national chairman of the Social Democratic Front, SDF political party, John Frundi, says the party is not dead. The party is alive and waxing strong and is going to bounce back to its leadership position as far as the opposition in the Republic of Cameroon is concerned. And this is contained in John Frundi's declaration to militants, supporters and sympathizers of the party on the occasion of the SDF 30th anniversary celebrated yesterday. For me, Armstrong Sander, Faris in details.
In his 30th anniversary declaration, the national chairman of the Social Democratic Front took SDF party members, sympathizers and Cameroonians memory lane to the launch and the founding principle of the Social Democratic Front 30 years ago. Ni John Frundi recalls an extract of the SDF launching speech in Bamenda, May 26, 1990.
The essence of our democracy is about local people controlling their day-to-day affairs. Because where the people are not free to go about their daily chores without undue molestation, they cannot exhibit their skills and talent. We must build a democracy where the people decide what is good for them.
Founded on the purpose to set Cameroon on a different path, the fresh breath of democracy, Ni John Frundi insists that democracy has never been given to Cameroonians, but brought with the launch of the SDF, during which 6 of its militants were shot and killed. 30 years of its existence in a context described as difficult, Ni John Frundi says the Social Democratic Front has made suggestions and contributions on how to shape the country, among which is the position for a return to the federal form of governance. Through pressure and persistence, the SDF party, according to Ni John Frundi, obtained the first sovereign national conference and the admission by all in Cameroon that the system of governance was not the best to deliver development. According to Ni John Frundi, Cameroon's admission into the Commonwealth of Nations and La Francophonie was thanks to the engagement of the Social Democratic Front. Among other milestone contributions of the Social Democratic Front to a better Cameroon, Ni John Frundi outlined the pressure on corrupt government officials by the Social Democratic Front that led to the creation of Operation Sparrow Hawk, the private member bills introduced by the Social Democratic Front that marked some progress with the electoral laws and other bills that permitted the promotion of women and youth at the National Assembly. On the state of affairs in Cameroon, Ni John Frundi regrets that the war in the northwest and southwest regions has continued to claim many lives. He notes that the level of poverty in Cameroon is growing. Cameroon has a chronic electricity shortage, a near absence of a good road network, which is the cause of fatal road accidents. Problems of potable water in major cities, despite the importance of water to life, and an ever-growing unemployment rate among the young people in Cameroon, according to Ni John Frundi. Failing to comment on the dismal performance of the party during the October 7, 2018 presidential elections and the February 9 municipal and legislative elections in Cameroon, Ni John Frundi says the SDF will come back when the people think the party should be forgotten.
He was one of those at the front line in the struggle for the resolution of the decades-old Anglophone problem in the Republic of Cameroon. Senior citizen and politician Mulanjo Litumbe is no more. He died yesterday. And Southwest correspondent Derek Jato was at his Boya residence, and in the report coming up next, he paints the picture of the atmosphere at his residence shortly after his demise and goes further to tell us who he was and what he stood for. Derek Jato.
His Bukwango residence in Buya subdivision is quiet. Mulanjo Letumbe will never be seen descending from these stairs again. He died in Douala Tuesday at age 94. At press time, a page was opened for condolence messages in his compound as neighbors put together memories of who Mulanjo Letumbe was to them.
That Papa was a good man to us. Yes, we don't quite know no problem and each no again no problem no similar.
For now we father died. How will be a very nice man for me for Kwata because at least when some people dey for inside Kwata, he even assist for the level own elder person.
And they say he was one of the few the Southwest region was proud of. For Mulanjo Letumbe will see red and call it red without fear or favor. To others, he fought for the Bakwere land not to be sold.
The Bakwarian that has struggled to bring back the land that the Bakwere people gave to
Joe has done so many things in this country to try to recover the land of the Bakwarians.
On the political stage and the future of the Southern Cameroons, this man was not mincing words. And his stand on Southern Cameroon's National Council SCNC was threatening the unity of the nation, reason why Mulanjo Letumbe was traditionally under house arrest every 1st October. Hear him.
I said, I saw one of the Hamburg old man, when I go bring soldier and gendarme, then lock me up for house. People wait and they can't cook for me, they no fit enter. What you do? He said, no, it no be official government policy. You feel ask, and I saw you be tell me for your office.
Prime Minister.
Yes. He said, now local thing where then they do there. They know they bring even warrant of arrest. Then go just surround the place and say, man, no enter here. Just for intimidate me. I said, you think, say, at this age, I don't bury a lot of young people where they not be half my age. I said, God know why they keep me alive.
On Tuesday, May 26, 2020, in a hospital in Douala, the same God knows why he has taken him.
We will pay tribute to Mulanjo Letumbe before the end of this newscast. Now, in news out of the country, the World Health Organization has raised concerns over COVID-19, or that COVID-19 might impact negatively on Africa's fight against malaria. WHO fight against malaria team leader Dr. Akpaka Kalu says that anyone exhibiting fever should seek medical care. According to him, some patients are afraid of seeking treatment during the ongoing coronavirus pandemic, yet fever is also a symptom for malaria. And Nigeria will continue with the planned clinical trial on the malaria drug hydroxychloroquine on COVID-19 patients, even after the World Health Organization halted a similar effort because of safety fears. And the director of Nigeria's National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, Mojisola Adeyeye, said that she does not dispute WHO's conclusions, but they want to guarantee their own data. They want to gather their own data. And Professor Adeyeye added that the clinical trials will be concluded in 3 to 4 months. Talking Point is up next. Thanks, dear viewers, for joining us in Talking Point. Our guest, Dr. Philbert Eko, community health specialist, is joining us from the nation's political capital, Yaoundé. Doctor, you're welcome.
Thank you very much, Mr. Babila Jonathan, for inviting me on your podcast.
All right, let's begin with the situation which is said to be disturbing in Anglophone Cameroon, where the coronavirus figures are speedily increasing. Close to 200 confirmed cases already recorded in the northwest and southwest regions of the country. What do you think about the rising figures in these two regions?
Thank you for that pertinent question. I think all of us know the situation of the Northwest and Southwest region, which makes it a little bit different from the other 8 regions. Certainly, the response is completely different. And that is why I think the 2 regions are particular. And if care is not taken, I think the numbers will certainly skyrocket in a fast geometric progression.
And there is something in the release of the public health delegate, regional delegate for the northwest region of the country, which seems to be a little disturbing, is the fact that more than 90% of the coronavirus death cases died either in the house or few minutes after the arrival in health amenity or in the health amenities in the region. Is this an indication that coronavirus has gone deeper into the society in that part of the country than what the figures seem to show us today?
Thank you for that pertinent question. I think that is where I really come in as a community health specialist, adding to the cap that I hold as a reproductive health specialist. I think the problem is not just deep in the community, but it has gone rooted in the community in such a way that it's no more an up-down injunction. It's supposed to be a community problem, a real community problem. And we should be very careful with information that we pass on, especially talking about the different type of cures that are online and that people talk about. And again, with respect to the fact that people think the easing of measures, maybe truly or falsely, has nothing to do with an increase in the rate of the infection. That's why many persons stay at home, maybe by taking concoctions, honey, limes, I don't know, all the bitter leaves and so on. Some may be afraid of going to hospitals, believing that it's in the hospitals that they will contract the disease. But meanwhile, the problem is more in the community. I mean, more in the community than in the hospitals. So it is a very serious problem in the community.
And the Minister of Public Health said that the country is moving into a more complicated stage. How complicated is it going to be, or it is already in the northwest and southwest regions of the country with regards to the impact of the Anglophone crisis, which has caused some health centers, many health centers and hospitals in several parts of the 2 regions to be transformed into military camps, and there are no health amenities, and many people are living in the bushes and living in very horrible conditions, IDPs and so on.
Yes, very pertinent. A pertinent remark, Mr. Babila, that you've just made concerning these 2 regions. I want to vehemently state something here. I do appreciate a lot our Minister of Public Health. If you go through all his tweets and you read above or you read behind the lines, his ideas are different. Maybe different from hierarchy, maybe different from politics, but again, the Ministry of Health is a cross-cut ministry. It's a cut across ministry in such a way that the Minister of Health cannot take decisions concerning the other ministries. Sincerely, we are going through, and we will continue to go through the critical phase of this disease, especially in the two regions, but not just in the two regions. I want to make it clear. In the two regions, because of the problem that all of us do, there are areas that are inaccessible. There are hospital settings that patients can't go there. There are many things that are not in place the way they are in the other 8 regions. But again, in the other 8 regions, I say in the other 8 regions again because our way that we react with respect to injunctions is different from the Western world. We cannot give orders. And I still say as a community health specialist that we have to go to the roots. We have to do community diagnosis. We have to do community development strategies. So the community has to appropriate the strategy. They don't just have to participate in the strategy. That is the major problem that we're facing. We are giving injunctions that they should wear masks. Most of them don't even know how to wear those masks. Most of them don't know that they are wearing those masks for themselves and not for the authorities. That is why I still think there is a way out. But that way out is in the community. We must go back to the roots of the community. See the community heads, see the community stratas, and work with them to develop community strategies so that they can handle the problem. And we come as specialists to evaluate with them to see the result as time goes on. We should not wait at the end and then we start crying over spilled milk. Sincerely.
Dr. Eko, you elaborate a little more on the strategies that should be put in place to get the communities actively involved in government's anti-COVID-19 strategy. But first, what are some of the special measures that should be put in place in the northwest regions with regards to the socio-political and security climate of those regions? Some have been calling for a ceasefire. Even the United Nations Secretary General did so. But until now, there is no call for a ceasefire in those two regions.
Sincerely, Mr. Babila, I think for accessibility in every part of these two regions where Cameroonians reside, I think like any right-thinking Cameroonian is that a ceasefire has to go on. Because without a ceasefire, how can you access a community where gunshots are taking place time and again? That is security of you as an individual, of the citizens are not guaranteed. It's a very big problem. So I still think like any right-thinking Cameroonian, even like the government, I think even the government, they think and they know that the first thing to handle this problem in these two regions is a ceasefire so that all the areas that Cameroonians reside in these two areas can be accessible in such a way that the communities of those areas can be used to develop strategies to fight this invisible enemy, and I will still continue to say this, the invisible enemy that the whole world is facing, and Cameroon specifically.
Now, what are some of those strategies that you think should be implemented to get the communities more involved in the fight against coronavirus? In some few minutes, we will be rounding up.
Yes, thank you very much. The first, as I said, is community-based. And in community-based, there is what we call focus group discussions. We have to go back to the community, reorganize them into groups, do interviewing with respect to a checklist, and with them we can develop what are the different strategies that they themselves can see that are proper. And of course, with us experts, we can see whether the strategies are well developed and well appropriate with respect to our context. And of course, if they appropriate the strategies, it will be very easy for them to follow the strategies. But if the strategies come from above, it becomes so difficult. So focus group discussions have to be made. Community health, I precise, not just public health specialists, but community health specialists have to be recruited in all the different areas so that they go into the community and with the strategies that they have learned, they can develop focus groups. They can develop checklists that they can do interviews with respect to the authorities of those different communities. In such a way, they can develop the strategies together, and the community will appropriate the strategy and I precise, they will not participate. They will appropriate. Appropriation of a strategy is different from participating in a strategy. And that is how evaluation of the strategies with them can give us a result. Sincerely, if not, as an individual and as my colleague, community health specialist, I doubt the result that holds us tomorrow.
All right, Doctor, we are running up in just some few seconds. I want to have your take on the decision of the government to disburse more than 4 billion francs CFA for the purchase of cars for new MPs at a time when the country needs more money, or much money, let me put it that way, for the fight against coronavirus. Was it a good strategy, a good decision?
I read that like you, Mr. Babila. And I was a little bit perplexed. Maybe it's the law, but I think the law was made by man and the law can be adjusted by man. There is a lot that the community needs. There is a lot that us health experts need. I'm a community health expert, but I'm also a hospital-based expert. I know what we face in hospital, the lack of material. So certainly I don't think it is the right move. It is the law. Yes, it is the law. But again, I think government would have thought otherwise to improve on other aspects with respect to what the community needs. Because I tell you, the community is in serious problem. The population is in serious problem. We are in serious crisis. And I insist, it's an invisible war. It's a war. And when we are in a war, we have to fight the war with all our energy, with all the bullets, and with all the bulletproofs. Mr. Babila, you cannot differ with me that I am a medical professional. Now I am the army, as I would say, in front of this disease. I cannot go and fight the war without bulletproofs. I cannot go and fight the war without all the arms necessary to fight the war. It becomes so difficult. Because, of course, if all of us are infected, all of us will be isolated and quarantined. And again, who manage the other patients? So you understand that it's a very delicate issue. Health professionals have to be protected, and protected with all these means.
All right,
money
Doctor.
Is a lot of money, a lot for the society and for us health professionals.
All right, Dr. Philbert. Dr. Philbert, Eco Community Health Specialist, thanks for joining us in this edition of Talking Point. Coming up, we're going to pay tribute to one of the persons who were at the front line in the fight for the resolution of the decades-long Anglophone crisis. Mola Njo Litumbe. He spoke to one of my former colleagues, senior journalist, Tamfo Harrison. Tamfo in Top Stories on Equinoxe Television. Take a listen.
My guest on the program tonight is a senior citizen. He's equally a politician and an opinion leader. Mola Njo Litumbe. It's a pleasure to have you back on the program after a long time.
Well, I've been away on safari to the United States of America.
You spent more than a month in the United States of America. Why did you go there?
I went to the United States on the invitation of the diaspora there. So I pointed out that we could not attain independence by association because the territory of southern Cameroon no longer exists. That the only alternative is for us to have independence by integration with La République du Cameroon.
I want to have this very clear. That is
Yes.
what you want to sit down with government face to face and talk?
Exactly, yes.
That we want to be with you. We want to be here.
Yes.
But you have to give us this.
You have to agree to
to shape our...
You have to agree to the terms of coming together. If you don't agree to the terms of coming together, you are the one pushing us out. As I use the example of the man and his monogamously married woman.
The marriage example.
Yes, that if the husband acquires other wives and the wife complains, she doesn't take a dagger and kill the husband because that is our
What
husband.
do you say to those people who are contrary to you,
They're
fighting
for
independence?
No, they are not contrary to me. They say that this government of La République du Cameroon...
They are contrary to you because you are for the fact that we remain here, but they want to leave. So it's contradiction.
No, there is no contradiction whatsoever. It is in desperation because this government is impervious to the rights of international treaties. They were jubilant when the International Court of Justice ruled that Bakassi belongs to Cameroon. At that point they hailed the International Court of Justice and said, yes, that is so. But the Banjul Commission is set up by a decentralized arm of the United Nations called the African Union. And they have listened to the petition of Southern Cameroonian and I said, look, we don't want fight. Yes.
Is this struggle for independence, this has been happening for many years. The struggle for independence, you are on struggle for recognition within the country, the Republic of Cameroon.
No. In actual fact, on a matter of correction, to tell you the bad faith of Cameroon, they alleged that we joined them in a federation on 1st of October 1961. This is not true. Because when La République got independence on 1st of January 1960, they prepared a constitution which was approved by their assembly on, I think, 24th of February 1960. Now, what happened in this so-called federal constitution was that it is the constitution of La République du Cameroon as a sovereign state which was amended on 1st of September 1961. We were not there. We were still a trust territory. They amended the constitution which had been passed by their National Assembly on 21st of February 1960 and changed their name to La République Fédérale du Cameroun. Now, if you change your name from Harrison Tamfu to Johnson White, you are still the same person. So La République changed its name by passing this law number 2461, to show you that other laws have been passed since they got independence, and this was the 24th law changing their name, and said that effective 1st of October, they were going to swallow the territory of Southern Cameroon and incorporate it in their territory. This was the same La République du Cameroun which merely changed its name by passing a law in their parliament which only covered the citizens of La République du Cameroun as then constituted. If it was truly a federation, it would have meant two parties coming together and say, all right, this is the law which will govern the conduct of affairs between us. That is not the case. So what happened was that La République du Cameroun merely changed its name and took on Southern Cameroon as an appendage and colonized Southern Cameroon. That is the point I am making.
This struggle, like I was about to say, has been taking place for a very long time now.
Yes.
Is it attainable?
Of course it is attainable, because the world is governed by the rule of law. That's why we have the United Nations, which was specially created.
But laws have been passed and have not been respected.
Yes.
So,
yes,
rule of law.
Yes, that is a delinquent state. And the mission I have is to show the world that Here is a country, La République du Cameroon. They have failed to obey the prescriptions of the UN Charter, which says that if a member state of the UN is joining another territory, they must reduce the terms in writing and file a copy at the Secretariat of the UN. Otherwise, that arrangement is invalid. They sued, for example, Nigeria at the International Court of Justice, saying Nigeria was occupying part of their territory, when they know for certain that there is no treaty of union between Southern Cameroon and La République du Cameroon to have entitled them to do so. So in the process, they misled the International Court of Justice, which believed that by saying they are Cameroon and Bakassi is located in Cameroon, therefore La République had title over Bakassi. That was a fraudulent act.
So you are saying that the rights of Southern Cameroonians will be determined and well felt and, of course, propagated and enjoyed in a federation?
No. There is no federation. There never has been.
That is what I'm saying, that if there is a federation, this is where you will be recognized.
If there was a proper federation of two states, because that law 2461 passed by the Parliament of La République du Cameroon merely changed its name. It was not a federation at all. But the law recognized the state of Southern Cameroon and described it in that law as a state of West Cameroon.
You mentioned in the course of this interview that you wanted the president to come from two sides of the country. That is to say, this year,
yes,
the president from here, the other year.
It's not me saying, it is stipulated in UN Resolution 1541, passed on 15th of December 1960, with La République sitting there and Nigeria as members of the United Nations. They passed that resolution. So we were not there.
So the elections mean nothing to you?
They don't mean very much. I would advise strongly that President Biya should first of all respect the decision of this international tribunal if he is going to be the leader of a country in good standing. Otherwise, he is not of good standing. He will be a buccaneer president if he accepts the decision of one international tribunal and disregards others. In taking the matter to the International Court of Justice was a fraudulent act, because there is no treaty of union between the area in which Bakassi is located and La République du Cameroon. La République du Cameroon traditionally did not have a boundary with Nigeria.